if the Liberal government, if Justin Trudeau doesn't stop the obstruction that's going on in committee, if Justin Trudeau doesn't allow his chief of staff to testify, we will force him to do so by voting with the opposition day motion. We're going to make it very clear that we believe in doing everything possible to make sure Canadians have their questions answered so we can restore confidence in our electoral system. Donc aujourd'hui, je veux dire clairement pour les néo-démocrates.
Today, I want to say clearly that for the New Democrats, our democratic system is fundamental. Elections are fundamental because the impacts that people suffer come directly from the results, and we see the challenges. We want people to have confidence in our democratic system and elections. Therefore, we are maintaining our position that we need an independent investigation to answer such serious questions as foreign interference. In this context, the Conservative Party now is trying to play games, and on the other side, the Liberal is blocking attempts to get answers to these important questions. So today, if the Liberal government and if Justin Trudeau do not stop obstructing the committee, and if they do not allow Justin Trudeau's chief of staff to testify, then we will force them to do so by supporting the motion today.
Right now, there's a lot of serious questions about what the Prime Minister's office knew, when they knew it, and what they did about that. We would prefer that there was a public inquiry that was investigating this and finding out those answers. In the meantime, these questions are very important, and so we want to make sure that Canadians have an opportunity to hear what was known and when it was known and what was done with that information.
So can you clarify, does that mean that you will be voting with the Conservative motion, or have you been given a tell that Ms. Telford will agree to testify before the vote this afternoon?
We are saying very clearly, if the Liberal government does not stop the obstruction in committee, the committee is meeting in about 10 minutes from now, if that obstruction does not stop, and if the Liberal government and Justin Trudeau doesn't permit his chief of staff to testify, then we will force them to do that.
Did the Liberals discuss making this a confidence matter with you?
That has never come up, and that is not my understanding that it's not confidence.
Did you get assurances from the Prime Minister that they'll stop the filibuster at Proc?
We are saying very clearly, if they do not stop this obstruction in committee and they don't allow the motion to go forward that will ensure that the chief of staff of Justin Trudeau testifies in that committee, then we will force them to do that by voting with the opposition motion.
If we understand this afternoon, does that mean, could your decision change this afternoon? The decision clearly is that if the government and Justin Trudeau do not stop obstruction in committee, and if they do not allow Justin Trudeau's chief of staff to testify, then we will force them to do so by supporting the opposition motion day. What about if there's still obstruction today? Well, we'll be deciding that in probably about 10 minutes. This is where we're going to see whether the government is going to stop this obstruction or not. If they allow Katie Telford, Justin Trudeau's chief of staff, to testify or not, and if they don't stop what's happening in committee, we'll force them to do so.
Directly with the Prime Minister, did you lay that out to him yourself?
I've said clearly, both publicly and privately, that one, we need a public inquiry and we need questions answered. In the meantime, absent a public inquiry process, the only process we have is the committee work. I don't think that's the best forum for it. That's why I've said that we need a public inquiry, and I've said that publicly and privately that we need a public inquiry.
Him in a meeting.
I've said it publicly and privately.
Why don't you clarify? I mean, we know that you speak with the Prime Minister as part of your deal, so why not just be clear?
I've said it publicly and I've said it privately to the Prime Minister, both, that we need a public inquiry and that we need to make sure that Canadians get an opportunity to hear questions answered. And there's a lot of serious questions that need answered.
Just to be clear then, you're willing to accept the fact that this could go to the Ethics Committee at some point with Katie Telford being there and the whole list of people that the Conservatives want to bring forward. You're willing to go the whole gamut if the Prime Minister doesn't allow Katie Telford to speak?
Well, we're saying very clearly that there's an opportunity in 10 minutes where the government's going to show us if they stop the obstruction and if they allow the chief of staff to testify, then if they don't do that, then we will support the opposition motion, which is the entirety of that motion.
So you want to appear at PROC, you want the committee that's filibustering right now to stop that, her appear there, and if that doesn't happen, you'll vote with the other parties on that. Okay.
That's correct.
Can you clarify, why don't you want the rest of, so you're willing to vote against the Conservative Opposition Day motion if Telford testifies at committee? Why does the NDP want the rest of what's in that Conservative motion? Why would you support that anyways?
We have in PROC a motion that's going to happen very, very shortly that includes a number of other individuals that go beyond just the chief of staff. We think that should move ahead. The Liberals have been blocking that. If they stop blocking that, well, they have a choice. They can stop blocking that and they can allow the chief of staff to testify and the others that were included in that motion, or we'll force them to do that.
Le fait qu'on vient d'apprendre que ce sera pas un vote de confiance à jouer dans la
We just learned that it won't be a confidence vote. And would you possibly vote with the Conservative motion? We have always been in favor of a public inquiry. That's why we presented this motion in the Commons. Our number one priority is to ensure that we have an independent and public process. Then we also said we don't want to have an election, we want a public inquiry. We want to know that our elections are free of any foreign interference. That's our goal. The goal is to ensure that at the next elections, people can have confidence that they can vote without any interference.
You said you were worried that the committee could be a circus, and that's not what you want. But you seem to be willing, possibly, to go with the circus as opposed to waiting for the rapporteur.
The dilemma that we're up against is that we know that Canadians have some serious questions that need to be answered. The committee work is not my preferred path. It's clear that the Liberals and the Conservatives both are more interested in playing games there. Conservatives that are not interested in actually safeguarding democracy. It's clear if you watch the committee that that's not their goal. Their goal is to attack the government instead of finding ways to assure we know exactly what happened in terms of interference and how we can protect our democracy. That's not what they're interested in. And the Liberals are more interested in putting blocks in place, and that's a problem as well. In the absence of a public inquiry, we need to make sure that Canadians have an opportunity to have questions answered. I think the last question.
On apprend que le rapporteur spécial a jusqu'au 23 mai pour déclencher ou pas une enquête publique.
We'll decide on May 23rd to trigger a public inquiry or not. Is that too late for you? For us, we've wanted to have an inquiry for weeks now. For a long time, we've been asking for that. This is still what we are demanding that the government do. We are demanding a public inquiry because that's the only way to truly reestablish confidence in our system and also to ensure a public process.